Hi, I'm Sleepy, and today's the day we finally get back to Smash Bros. Moveset redesigns. This episode is for the gals, Princess Peach and Daisy, some of the most recognizable female characters in video game history. This first Melee newcomer is perhaps the most complex character from Melee. I have a lot to say about Peach. Before we can talk about anything at all, we need to have a lengthy and boring talk about her design. So just stick with me, alright? Today's episode ended up being incredibly unique in the topics I discussed and researched for. It's got a lot more societal commentary than anyone expected to hear in a redesign of Peach's moveset in Smash. I'm trying something new, so I kind of expect more dislikes than usual. You can skip straight to the actual moveset here, but please don't. From her gameplay in the Mario games and how that translates to Smash, to the balance and even to the pop culture relevance Peach has outside of Smash, all of it is important to this new design. Peach already has a strange design to say the least. Melee was filled to the brim with incredibly simple characters that mostly lacked gimmicks. Everyone followed the same moveset conventions. There was no way someone like Olimar, Villager, or Joker would have made it into Melee. There were no fancy meters, no extra special moves, no way. You need an up special? Just make him do a couple of spins, that'll do. Yet in the middle of them all, Peach was made. Her moveset is a mix of simple attacks but complex movement that came out looking totally unique and unexpected. Back in 2001, if they didn't have Sakurai, Nintendo probably would have designed Peach as one of the simplest characters to teach the basics of the game, like a girl version of Mario. A jack of all trades with easy and intuitive normals, Nintendo often likes to have beginner-friendly characters for boys and girls separately, because girls tend to choose a girl character or something cute over a hairy, middle-aged plumber, and boys typically pick something cool, like Kirby. Of course, we all know the objectively correct choice is to just pick based on aesthetics, regardless of gender. I mean, who are you gonna pick? The Virgin Gen 4 dude? Or the Chad Dawn? No. But personally, whenever I see a girl play Smash for the first time, they almost always pick Kirby or Peach. One time I did see a girl pick Mario though, because she correctly assumed he'd be good for beginners. Peach is more so popular with the 6 to 11 year old crowd, because she's basically Nintendo's Disney princess. I mean, she's on all the merch. But her portrayal in Smash is very misleading, because Peach is one of the most difficult and technical characters in the game. It's definitely why I never liked using Peach in previous Smash games. Brawl demonstrated this pretty well accidentally. You can choose to save Peach or Zelda at the start. Given the chance, I much prefer using Zelda. She shares many core design elements with Peach, however, she's easy to use. That even led me to picking up Zelda as a secondary in Smash 4 and getting more into competitive. It wasn't until I was a 16-year-old with tons of Smash Bros. Experience did Peach even start to feel a little bit right. And from what I've read online, my experience isn't too uncommon. A lot of her moves just don't feel or work as expected. And yeah, as a new player, you can sometimes just get by spamming side B and down B, but once you're comfortable with Smash's control scheme, you're moving around with Peach, but just can't make the character work right away, so they don't feel fun.
If it's not fun, why bother?
And it takes a while until she becomes fun. She's hard to play, she feels slow, and her attacks are often underwhelming. My theory goes that if you pick Peach first, you get a worse impression of how to play Smash. Unfortunately, Peach is one of the most popular characters, so naturally she gets picked a lot by beginners. My focus when crafting Peach's design philosophy was mainly from the perspective of a girl trying to learn Smash Bros. I chose to focus on new female players specifically because that's who Peach is supposed to appeal to. Another reason is that there are already plenty of beginner-friendly characters that are common for boys to start with. Mario, Pit, Yoshi, Captain Falcon, Bowser, and Ridley are all some of the characters I see get picked by new guys. These are all solid options to learn the game because generally their moves behave as expected. I should clarify this before anyone gets mad, because yeah, even though Peach is designed to appeal to new female players, she's also supposed to be a fighter that works well in general, because a boy could just as easily decide that Peach will be their main. However, a big flaw in this perspective is that I'm only assuming Peach is the most common beginner character among girls, and I'm basing it on the opinion that Peach is bad at teaching the game to new players. But a hypothesis is worthless without any data. I need more than just my own experience because I'm not a girl. Luckily, I know just the test subject. I tried seeing if the character made any sense to my 9-year-old sister. She loves Mario Odyssey, so she's already familiar with Peach and doesn't really play Smash. So I taught the basic movements and then asked her to beat a level 1 CPU on her own. She picked Peach and lost. The same result showed up 3 times. She decided that Peach was too complicated and ended up liking Inkling. So, there we go. Young girl gravitated towards Peach, but couldn't control them. Not a very good beginner character. So if we assume Peach is the first character that most little girls play as, then they're probably gonna have a harder time learning the game than boys who pick beginner-friendly characters like Mario or Bowser. I can't let this slide. This adorable dumpling deserves her beginner-friendly Mario princess. However, I can't do anything about it. With all that said, I can't lower Peach's skill floor or ceiling. Why not? Cause there's no chance in hell people want me to simplify Peach. The technical Peach is the one that everyone already loves. It's not a bad design either. It's fun and unique, even if it's not what you'd expect. The best I can do is slightly lower the skill floor and make a couple of moves less weird. But if I'm not gonna make Peach a beginner-friendly character, then what was the point of this long-ass rant? While it's true that Peach would be a fitting beginner character, I think Daisy could be an equally good fit. I can't stop new girls from starting with Peach, and I can't simplify Peach. But even though Peach is confusing, I can still give new players the easier alternative option with Daisy. It can't be the other way around, because everything that makes Peach technical is unique to her specifically. Daisy has never pulled turnips or floated, and it's funny how in Mario games, Peach is the easy mode character that's meant for less skilled players. The float makes her really easy to play in Mario, but that makes her really hard to play in Smash. It's definitely regrettable that a sizable number of new girls will continue to pick Peach as their first character, but Daisy has enough appeal that I think she can lower that number significantly. So before I explain why I think Daisy might be more popular with some girls than Peach, keep in mind that this is just my personal opinion. My analysis holds very little actual weight because I'm not a girl. I'm really not anticipating the responses because I have a chance of being attacked on all sides if I mess up. This video was hard as hell to write without stepping on toes. That's why the topic today ended up being so much grander than just Peach's Smash moveset. Because if I don't do the topic justice, I look like a real dick. I mean, it's kind of a hard sell to listen to a dumb 17-year-old male with no experience lecturing you on how women think and how to design them, because I could be completely wrong, but I'm doing my best here. I have good intentions, I swear. All I can offer is my own experiences and the people I've met. With that being said, I believe that by putting some spotlight on Daisy, they could appeal to a much larger demographic of girls than you'd expect. Which is to say, I think Daisy appeals more to adolescent girls than Peach does. Peach is pretty boring and not relatable. Daisy's cooler, she's loud and tough. See, she's not your average damsel, she slaps Bowser to the sun. Once again, just call BS in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think I'm onto something. I've noticed many girls have grown up rejecting typical girly stuff. They think they're tomboys, especially if they have older brothers. They like to distance themselves from traditionally girly things. I believe this is because of the negative stigma that our society has continuously placed on the interests of young girls. I mean, just look at TikTok and boy bands and astrology. These hobbies are grade A cringe, and all their male peers make fun of it. They want to be approved of, so they become not like other girls, and ultimately, in an effort to appear more unique, ironically end up fitting into a stereotype. Many of these types of girls grow out of this phase when they mature, but that has very little to do with Peach's moveset at this point.
Oh, the wee lady's done yapping his gums away, is he? Don't suppose he could get back to the bloody point of the video?
Fair enough. Peach. To redesign her, we need to look at her personality, which hasn't been the most consistent over the years. In most Mario games, she's very timid, a kind and gentle person. I'd call her a flat-out pacifist if she didn't get into so many scraps. She's been playable many times and has always been able to hold her own in a fight. She's also quite stubborn. In Smash, we see her in an interesting new light. She's a bit of a brat. She became much more competitive. She's flirty and mischievous. She taunts you mercilessly. I thought to highlight this by replacing her losing animation to be much saltier. She's just mega pissed about losing now. But we don't want to ignore her gentle side. Her most consistent trait is her pacifism, so I decided that Toad would play a more prominent part in her moveset too. I only have one new alt and another one that gets replaced. It's just modifying an existing alt so it replaces the white one. Now she wears the wedding dress from Odyssey, complete with Cappy's sister, the tiara. The brand new alt is based on the outfit she wears while traveling in New Donk City. Her attributes and gameplay thingies changed too. Double jump works like in Melee. It double jump cancels and junk. That's a pretty big buff, which calls for a pretty big nerf. Peach's item throwing range is reduced. She can't throw items as far as any other character. This is a reference to her low power stat in Mario 2. It's also a balance change because turnips do like 13% and need to be worse at camping. So let's do grounded moves, which definitely need a big overhaul. Jab summons a Toad to protect her. He does a standard 2-punch combo into a headbutt then disappears. It's a bit laggy for a jab, but Toad is very useful because of his high priority disjoint that allows him to disrupt attacks up close. It's also just a lot more helpful to new players than the old wimpy slap. F-tilt is stronger and has more active frames. She scoots forward for F-tilt, which increases the range slightly. A down tilt comes out 1 frame slower now. She uses the crown again like in Smash 4. Up tilt has slightly more startup but less end lag. The heart on up tilt is bigger but weaker. More importantly is the new launch angle. The heart sends them down now. It's very weak, so they can't tech until high percent. It allows her to drag you down and get a ground follow-up. I'm surprised that Smash doesn't have more drag down stuff but for single hit moves. Dash attack uses Toad as a shield. She holds him out and pushes. It's less conventionally helpful, but it's definitely interesting. Toad will absorb hits, so it's just like Palutena's dash attack. If anyone attacks Toad, they will be very briefly paralyzed. But dash attack is weak and has too much end lag to allow meaningful combos until really high percent. When it comes to her smash attacks, I decided to give Peach's sport moves to Daisy and replace them with sexist stereotypes. Sexist stereotypes are like 50% of Peach's identity, so I'm just keeping the original vision. A default F smash is now a rolling pin. Get it? Peach woman? Woman cook kitchen? Funny haha. Anyway, she swipes sideways and launches you. It's the strongest of the three, but has the worst range. Upward is still frying pan. Down angled is now an umbrella. She swings down with her umbrella, and it's weak, but sends them at a very harsh semi-spike angle. Sometimes her umbrella friend Parry makes a cameo. Down smash has more range now, to deny access to the ledge like Palutena's down tilt or Ness's yo-yo. It now eats shields for breakfast, too. Her grab has a bit more range now because Toad appears in front of her to grab for her. Her pummel now has her do those catfight slaps you'd see in cartoons. Up throw now combos. Back throw is pre-patch strong. What do you mean you wish I was ever born? Nair is frame 3 now, but it has more end lag. Nair lasting longer does give it more active frames though. Fair will give off coins when she hits someone like Mario's up B. If she's wearing the wedding dress or New Donk City dress, it gives her purple coins. Up air has slightly more end lag. Dare deals more damage and has way less knockback growth. Now it almost always combos into fair. We're almost to the special moves. Then we do Daisy, and then next week I do Bowser, and then next week I'll move the dead body out of my basement. I didn't agree to that.
I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember. What's wrong with me?
First of all, I would like to gloat, because thanks to Steve, Shield Special is no longer a character-specific mechanic. I always knew that it had the potential to be expanded on, but in the context of this character and the timing of this video, it's a bit ironic. This video already had so many topics, but unfortunately I have to discuss this sooner than later. I had no plans to give Peach a Shield Special. I unexpectedly had to think of a Shield Special for Peach, even though I originally chose not to give her one because of an internal debate. When I saw the potential for Shield Specials, it wasn't really something I thought needed to be given to everyone. It was kind of an irregular special that complements an existing moveset instead of trying to branch it off in a new direction. Something that can help flesh out or complete an otherwise unfinished character. I have skipped characters who didn't need them at first because they were usually top tiers who have every tool that they need, like Pikachu. Peach fits this description, and I was satisfied leaving her without one. But someone under my Pikachu video suggested that I make a universal mechanic. This started the internal debate. I think forcing myself to add a shield special even when it doesn't naturally fit leads to a less cohesive design that looks unprofessional. In some cases it can detract from the overall quality of the moveset even if on paper it's technically better. However, I can also see how it seems pretty arbitrary to introduce a special move that only some characters can use. I could very easily make one extra special move for every character, but there's a chance that it might not gel well with the rest of the design, making it look bloated for no reason. I'm opening up the discussion with you guys on whether or not everyone needs a shield special. My temporary solution for Peach was that I moved neutral B to shield special and made a different neutral B. It sucks that she can't use Toad counter midair, but it's not the end of the world. A shield special is still a counter, but it's radically different. It works more like Duck Hunt's gunman. She can walk independently as Toad stands there. As long as Peach or the Toad aren't hit, the Toad will sit there and wait for an attack. If you hit Peach or the Toad, he automatically shoots his spores. These spores now paralyze opponents for just a brief moment. You'll get a good follow-up if you're nearby. After 10 seconds, he'll just automatically despawn. Alternatively, Peach can throw a turnip at Toad to make him attack. Neutral B is Captain Toad, so they're both Toad-based specials. It starts like the shield special. Peach summons Captain Toad beside her instead of in front of her though. That means Captain Toad can't take hits for her. Peach orders Captain Toad to swing his pickaxe. Simple enough. Press B and you just get a raw kill move that lacks range. However, if Peach summons Captain Toad while she's holding an item, like a turnip, Toad will throw the item forward much faster and farther than she could. When Captain Toad throws a turnip, it becomes a big turnip and hits much harder than the small ones Peach throws. and when using Neutral B to throw something mid-air, Captain Toad will throw it diagonally down, which helps a lot with edge guards. I'm of the opinion that Toad probably isn't gonna make it to Smash as a playable fighter, so giving him a bigger role in Peach's moveset helps him out. It even references the high power stat Toad has in Super Mario Bros. 2. Side B interacts strangely with her floaty double jump. If you input side B and jump on the same frame, Peach will go flying up while doing her side B. It looks like a glitch, but it's not. I'm a big fan of intentional glitches. When you discover little things like that, it makes you feel like you've cracked the game. So, you know, little character-specific stuff is fun. Up B sometimes plays a different noise, along with the umbrella transforming to look like her umbrella friend Perry from Super Princess Peach. Also, the float hitbox combos into itself like the melee version, because that looks really sick. Down B was touched on a lot, as some could have guessed. Although Down B has one extra frame of startup, the turnips bring back a bit of melee functionality, how they bounce when they hit something. Down B has a few new rare item pulls, but the dot eyes and Stitch Face were nerfed as a balance precaution. All her turnips now do the same damage, sadly. However, Peach now has a small chance of pulling up a Koopa Shell, Pitfall, Hokotate Ship, and Unira. I considered the Bullet Bill, Blue Shell Star, and other Mario items, but they're just way too obnoxious and would feel unfair to anyone who wants to fight without items, regardless of how low the chance is to get it. The items I picked were either from Mario, like the Koopa Shell, were non-intrusive enough to be used in a match without items like the Unira, or were in character enough to be plucked out of the ground, like the Pitfall and Hokotate Ship. Final Smash was changed to something new. It's a cinematic, where a bunch of elite guard toads attack with spears and turnips while Peach barks orders at them. It's activated by Peach throwing a toad forward. It's got average charge rate and average retention time. But even though Peach is redesigned, it's not over yet. Daisy is next. I was really excited to redesign Daisy because currently she's the most insulting clone we've ever seen in Smash. She's a glorified costume. Needless to say, she didn't live up to the hype, and she quickly became my least favorite character in the game. Daisy has her own identity, but Smash didn't let her express it. So, it's finally time to design a beginner character that will be more intuitive than Peach and teach the basics of the game and what to expect from most characters. However, just because the character is easy to pick up doesn't mean they need to be easy to master. Sakurai wouldn't want that. We'll try to build a high skill ceiling too. If you love Daisy, I want you to main Daisy without her holding you back. Interestingly, I chose to also alter Daisy's physical design in this redesign. She has some slight aesthetic differences that return her design more to the older GameCube-era Daisy. Her skin is now darker to match the fact that she rules a desert. Daisy's also very active, so in order to move around better, her dress could use some changes. It is now more form-fitting and doesn't enlarge her hips like Peach's does.
Cause she ain't a fake-ass hoe.
Her dress is cut shorter. Oh, scandalous. The dress is also less decorative, getting rid of the poofy shoulders and gems, with the only accessories being a couple flower symbols. I sorta doubt that Daisy is into expensive dresses. This dress is based on the Mario Golf Daisy. Half of her costumes are based on her Mario Strikers look. The "Hi, I'm Daisy" is now an up taunt. For side taunt, she raises her arms to intimidate you and shouts,
You want a piece of me?
Let's move on from mediocre voice acting and get into general gameplay attributes. Daisy has great movement, being fast on the ground and air. While Daisy isn't quite a floaty, she's also not a fast faller, so she's like Lucina, being somewhere in the middle. Daisy can't float, but she has 3 good jumps and a better air dodge than Peach. Daisy can also wall jump, unlike Peach. Daisy generally does a bit more damage than Peach while also being faster. This is the trade-off for not having float. Daisy having an extra jump is a reference to Super Mario Run. For jab, she does 2 punches and a butt bump, kinda like Luigi's jab, but more confident. F-tilt changed. F-tilt is much stronger looking. Instead of the dainty, pretend to faint so he'll catch me kick, she kicks you forward like a soccer ball. Or football if you're some manner of European. It sends forward instead of up, so it's a lot better than Peach's. She has melee Peach's up tilt, but it's a kill move now. She still shares Peach's down tilt. Plus she has melee Peach's broken dash attack. I didn't want to overdo it with the sports references, but she's a pretty sporty girl, so we can't leave them out. She no longer uses the frying pan. She has a baseball bat instead. Bat is the default F-smash. It's fast and strong like Melee Ness's F-smash. It reflects projectiles, but they don't get stronger. Racket is down-angled and harshly semi-spikes like Peach. Club is up-angled. It's weaker and now sends up. Daisy can share down smash with Peach too. It looks a lot cooler without a dress, right? Toad is completely absent because Daisy has no affiliation with Toads. Grab is done by herself. Pummel is now a headbutt like Mario. She has melee Peach's up throw. Back throw is much weaker than Peach's, but F throw is much stronger. Down throw is a pile driver like Link's down throw, but it has the same angle and frame data as before. She can't float, so Nair doesn't last as long as Peach, but it's faster and stronger. Daisy swings lower for her fair. It also spikes down and forward near the middle of the move. Daisy has melee Peach's up air, but it's super strong. Bear is faster. Dare deals more damage and spikes. Next is specials, and like I said, I don't want to overdo the sport motif, so don't expect every move to be a Mario Strikers reference. Her shield special parallels Peach. Instead of using a Toad though, she uses a Sniffet. Seems like a pretty random enemy, but thanks to Sniffet being her partner in Mario Party 3, it's one of the few characters that Daisy's affiliated with. She summons a Sniffet in front of her and takes a defensive stance. She summons it further forward than Peach. If you hit her or the Sniffet, one of two things can happen. Either the Sniffet shoots straight forward, or you were too close to her and got slapped to the stratosphere. Or both, I guess. Hitting Daisy herself makes her slap you with incredible force. It's one of the strongest counters. But hitting the Sniffet makes him shoot a bullet straight forward. This bullet isn't as strong, but it's got really good range. It sends straight up and can't be DI'd. As long as Daisy or Sniffet aren't hit, Sniffet will sit there and wait for an attack. Similar to Toad, though, he'll just automatically despawn after a while. Unlike Toad, though, Sniffet always shoots before disappearing. Neutral B is a reference to her debut game, Super Mario Land. It's the Super Ball Flower. It works just like in Super Mario Land. It bounces around and sends opponents up and away for edge guards and combos. It's quite fast, and you can have two on screen at once. It's used similarly to Pikachu's T-Shock or even the late Mario's Fireball. New players love spammable projectiles. Credit to Electric Parrot 1 on Reddit for the idea. Side B is roughly the same move, but she goes in for a flying kick instead of a hip bash. It's a bit slower, but it's much stronger than Peach's and will probably be a new player's best friend to take stocks early. Up B is stronger and goes higher than Peach Umbrella, but has a worse float. It also only hits once, instead of being a multi-hit. In combination with Daisy's multiple jumps and up air strings, she has a very potent ladder combos if done right. Down B can't be turnips, because that doesn't fit, and Daisy never did that. But she is still an Echo Fighter, so I need her to play like Peach. So her down B can still pull up items, but not turnips. She has an affinity for flowers and a more aggressive playstyle, so I decided she pulls up a new item called a Daisy Wand. It's a simple flower that has a wide range of expressions on it just like Peach. It's a battering item that's basically just a heavily nerfed version of the lipstick. It deals 5% initially and plants a flower that does up to 10 more percent. It doesn't shoot spores when swung, so it has less range and it's an awful projectile when thrown. It's weak and falls slowly, plus it only plants a flower on their head if you swing it. The Daisy Wand is probably worse than Peach's turnips, but that's okay. Daisy can also pull up several other useful items. They have a higher chance of appearing since they're mostly battering items. She even has a decent chance to pull up a real lipstick. She can pluck a fire bar, a beast ball, a beam sword, a star rod, and rarest of all, a home run bat. The beast ball would probably lead to some really interesting combos, and I'd love to see that. We're almost done, and I'm pretty happy with Daisy's forgiving and easy to understand moveset. I think she works well as a teacher alongside classics like Mario, Kirby, and DK. So by playing Daisy, you learn tilts can be pretty good. Smash attacks can be angled. She has 2 spikes to practice, one of which requires better spacing. You learn items and how to use them well. There's an extra jump to safety net her recovery, and while more unique than most, her counter is easy to understand because its timing isn't strict. And so, all that's left is to wrap it up with Final Smash. Her Final Smash still copies Peach, but at least it looks pretty cool. She orders a bunch of Sarasaland enemies and Sniffets to attack. However, in this short cinematic, she's also fighting alongside them, unlike Peach. You can even see her riding the Sphinx boss. The activation hit is a Sniffet bullet. And we're good! Congratulations for watching this super long video. You are among the viewers who didn't just dislike and leave a minute in, so that's kinda hype. There's a lot of things in this videos I need answers to, so comments are important. Tell me what you think of the new and improved princesses. I think that designing a beginner-friendly character primarily with girls in mind would make sense and possibly introduce more girls into competitive. But let's be real, even if this design existed, girls would still stay the hell away from the Smash community because we did this, and this, and we smell. But I think we can work on not being involved in scandals for a while as a first step. Leave a like if you enjoyed. To be honest, this video really stands out from my other videos because it covered a few controversial topics. And if my views change later, this video is gonna be super hard to rewatch. But you can't be afraid to take risks. I might regret my opinions or move decisions in this video someday in the future, but I would still regret not making the video I felt like making. Sometimes when you're making something, you have to know when to drown out the criticism in your head. there's a chance you're worrying yourself for no reason. If you spend so much time thinking about the what-ifs and how people won't like it because it's different, you end up changing your creation into something generic. Then the reason the idea was good in the first place is gone. The world needs people with ideas, and those people can't lose sight of what made the idea good in the first place. The world has plenty of consumers, but I know you're a creator. So I'm gonna ask you a question every creator needs to know the answer to by heart. Do you know when to give up? Do you know when a challenge is too big? Do you know when to abandon your dreams? The answer is never! Creating something is an accomplishment. When you abandon your creation, you take it away from the world. So I leave you with this. Good night. There's no yawn at the end of this video. I accidentally took my hyper-focus pills too late in the day, so now I'm gonna be awake and alert till 4 a.m. Ha 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 ha! Help me.